Back Road Ministry, the world premiere, Mr. Monkey coming back at you live and direct from the Kia Optima studio, of course. Uh, the 17th of here, the kill code date from yesterday, actually started on the 14th, but here we are. Here we are. So I know a lot of people, you look at my feed, you don't remember my old feed, some of the videos I had on my old feed. And we talk about the build up to World War III. Years ago, I talked about Iran versus Israel and how we would get there. I told you a while ago that the East was going to be in the house. Remember the old song, When the East is in the House? Well, the East is in the house now. And World War III is really, really getting some build up. I know a lot of naive people still don't believe that we're going into World War III. But if you read the book Morals and Dogmas, it was written that we would have 3 world wars. And you think about the first two, they were kind of back to back. World War One ended in 1919. Less than 20 years later, we were in World War II. Remember World War One? World War One was the war to end all wars to go to another war. Then we get an extended break heading into World War III. But it was written that there would be three world wars in the book Boils and Dogmas by the Confederate General Albert Pike. Remember, they finally took Pike's statue down in D.C., but he was one of the biggest checkerboard boys of his time, and he prophesied that we would go to 3 world wars. And remember, Prince left you with that before he disappeared, that follow prophecy. That's the thing he was trying to tell people of color. Follow prophecy. Just go with the flow of prophecy. And prophecy comes out of the scriptures, the books that they write. As I say, the checkerboard boys put their hand on the Bible. Their light shines upon the Bible. Their light shines upon the Quran when they go through their ritual. So they know these books better than you. This ain't no just Arab people mastery of the Quran. If you think about the Shriners, a lot of Shriners use the Quran as their book for their ritual. So don't get it twisted. These books were written by man. These prophecies were written by man. These prophecies shall be followed by men. And here's where we are. So we see the standoff between Iran and Israel, and they're going to start shooting at each other. And it's just a matter of time before you see other wars. We got Ukraine and Russia. That's going to escalate. We got China talking about going into Taiwan. That's going to escalate. And America's going to try to pick sides in this, which is impossible. You'll be stretched thin. There's no way you can fight a war on those many fronts. Remember, World War II, we fought a war on 2 fronts, the Pacific and in Europe. Now you're talking about fighting a war on multiple fronts, which is too much for any country. And we will be stretched thin. And it's a reason why I hope people used to pay attention to movies like Blade Runner. Another good version that I think in The Fifth Element as well. You watch The Fifth Element, Blade Runner. But you see some of these movies, you see the Chinese, especially Blade Runner, you see the Chinese impact on America. Los Angeles is pretty much China. They were trying to tell y'all something. They were trying to tell you something, but you weren't seeing it. And as I told people before, America is a baby. It's a baby country. America is not even older than one Chinese dynasty, period. So if you look at most of the Chinese dynasties, you'll find 1 or 2 that America actually matches up to the age of that dynasty. And you think about China, how many dynasties they have, how many long-lasting dynasties they have. You look at the African countries and all the dynasties they have. Think about countries like Nigeria, how long Nigeria controlled for the most part, a big chunk of West Africa at one point. They were in control of West Africa. Talking about the countries of Ghana, the dynasties that they had. America ain't matching up to them. America is a baby. It's a child. They laugh at the things that we do because they treat us like children. The Iranian countries, these countries have been around for centuries. So as we go into this World War period, I'll tell people the same thing. Watch your dependents because they're going to play the dependence game. Remember our dependence on power, our dependence on fuel, our dependence for them to feed us. They're going to play with all these things because they need to create chaos. Remember, this is the Order Out of Chaos Committee. They need to create chaos so they'll bring you the order. And it's not really order. It's just you dependent on it. What do we talk about? For those who've been here for a while, what do we talk about? Find you an alternative food source. I'm gonna start doing my research today, and I'm a big procrastinator. Y'all know me. I say I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do. So today I'm gonna start looking for farms in my area that I can go to in Pennsylvania. Be it out here in New Jersey, where I can get fresh fruit, where I can get greenery, where I can get chicken, where I don't have to depend on a farm. And I'm also going to have conversations with that person about what can I trade for these things, but something that they might need that I can get my hands on to trade, be it services, be it doing work. You might have to go up there and work on the farm. Best service sometimes you can trade is just you go out there and do some physical labor, but you might have to do that to feed your family. And luckily for me, in my upbringing, I got a chance to work on a farm, so it won't be hard for them to get me back in the swing of how to do some farming. But you might have to do that as far as what if money don't matter? What if currency doesn't matter? Thinking about these things. So just mentally preparing yourself for chaos because this war is coming here. This war will impact America. And we have to prepare for that. We have to prepare for Russia trying to come upon our shores. Remember, a lot of this stuff, when we were talking about it, people were kind of glossing over it as a joke. And now we see us potentially going to war with Russia, and Russia might push this way. And you might see Americans for the first time have to defend their own country for the first time. Now we talk about fight for freedom. Yeah, you're going to have to fight for freedom. And citizens turning on each other. So we talk about the movie Civil War, citizens turning on each other. People creating their own reason of why they need to purge. Now we bring the purge and Civil War together. Because people would create their own thoughts about the situation and what needs to be done to purify their country for their survival. That's what Civil War was about. So all these things now come into clarity as we go into World War III. It's no coincidence why they were writing the movie Civil War, to mentally prepare you for what could happen here on your own shores. Americans are very naive people. We think that it just won't happen. And then when it happens, we're surprised as shit. Had an earthquake a couple of weeks ago. I was there when the earthquake happened. I'm sitting in the hospital with my mother-in-law, and shit just started shaking. That was the first time I've ever been in an earthquake. I'm from Chicago. I mean, an earthquake. But I'm not naive anymore. I know what an earthquake feels like, and I know an earthquake can happen. I've known people to live through earthquakes. So we can't be naive thinking that, hey, war won't ever come to America. Why not? Why won't war come to America? Why won't a bomb blow up a city in America? Stop being naive, y'all. Naive, and it's an old rap saying that says, sleep is the cause of the death. I think Nas dropped that. Sleep is the cause of the death. People are just taking naps because they go about this regular day-to-day flow, thinking everything is just going to be the way it is. And when they get hit, that creates the chaos because you're not mentally prepared. In your mind, this shit will never happen. You got people out on the road right now who don't know the impact of the Israeli-Iran war. They don't even know they're in World War III because they're asleep. They've been conditioned to stay asleep. Don't wake up. I don't look at the news. I don't look at the news. I just mentally prepare myself for what's taking place. I see the event. I say, okay, let me do my research, do my little research on the event, and then I stay abreast. We know that these are rituals. We know these things are prophesized. Anybody can get the book Morals and Dogmas and read about the three world wars. And think about it, when somebody writes that there will be three world wars, and this is the Civil War. This is a guy who was in the Civil War. You tell he's gonna be three world wars, and you see one happen, then you see two happen. Why do you think he's making up the third one? This guy was in the Civil War. A checkerboard boy told you. Well, you know they're gonna be three world wars, you know. Now, man, what the fuck you talking about? You know it's gonna be three. You get hit with two. There's one more left. And he said that war will be against the Zionists and Islam. The Islamic boys versus Zionists. And if we know history well, which we do, the Zionists have not fared well against the Muslims. They always seem to get their ass whooped. That's just the history of that type of fighting. So just mentally prepare yourself. I always teach y'all, don't get comfortable with any reality because it's not your reality. It's their reality. They created this reality that you see around you. And at any time, reality can change. And we have to be ready for the impact of reality change. I know that's scary. I'm scared. I'm scared for my family. I got family in various places. But at the end of the day, I know my higher power is going to watch over me. It's going to watch over my family. And it's going to protect me from the demons that surround us. These people don't care about you. They tried to hit us with COVID, all the prophecy. They get you with the plague. They hit you with war. They created that thing. Now they bring the war. And YouTube will probably, oh man, well he said, because they just as big as part of the problem. Ain't nothing but a bunch of demons. They control social media. Think about all the ignorant shit you see on YouTube every day. But the minute we try to put out information to help each other, oh no, we got to ban that. We're going to strike that. Yet they'll have people on there calling each other N-words, people bashing women, people doing just ignorant stuff to each other. And it's perfectly fine. This society is used to keep you asleep. They don't want you to wake up. And when people try to wake up each other, oh no, we got to strike that. No, you can't say that right there. No. The sleeper must awaken. That's a line from that book. Dude, Paul was told that the sleeper must awaken. You got to wake up and see what's going on. I'm not talking about this woke crap that they talk about. They ain't woke. They sleep. They too worried about who having sex with each other. They call that woke. But this is woke society. I don't give a damn who having sex with each other. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to keep my family alive. I'm waking up to see the bullshit that's around me. The realities that they create to keep people at perpetual warfare with each other. I ain't got time to worry about who you having sex with. Ain't got time for that. Wake up, y'all. Anytime people put information out there and you see it, you see the prophecy come true, that should tell you something. We got one more world war to go. One more world war to go. So let's mentally prepare. Find you some alternative food sources. Find you some alternative energy. If you got solar, you're good. But remember, they control the generator. So even with solar, they can play around with that. So that's that little trick they use the solar. So find you some alternative lighting sources. Find anything you can that you're going to need to keep yourself civil. So you ain't going crazy. Get you some board games so you're not dependent on the phone. Because, that's why they created the cell phone. Constant entertainment. And when you're not entertained, what you going to do? You used to TV. You used to TikTok. All ways of keeping control. So when they snatch it away, you don't know what the fuck to do. And I always tell people, What did you do before that shit? I didn't grow up with a cell phone. I didn't grow up with a cell phone. There was times I didn't have lights in the house. There was times I didn't have hot water. We tend to survive. There was times we didn't have gas. We used to find ways to survive. People lived off the land for long periods of time. They moved people off the land so they would take away their ability to survive. You ask the common person, can we farm? No. That just be something you know how to do. You know how to farm. You know how to grow some stuff to eat. You have some chickens around. Not anymore. They created a dependent society. You, me, us. So they can give it and take it away. So let's tap into those things that's still around us. We got a lot of farmers around us. We got people, that still grow crops. Let's tap into those people. Create a barter system with them. What is it that I can give you so I can keep eating? What is it I can do for you so I can keep eating? Desperate times call for desperate measures, and we're rolling into desperate times. And don't sleep on this, y'all. I'm afraid. You should be afraid. Just recognize that fear. But inside of that, we're going to be cautious. We're going to be prepared. We're going to do what we got to do to survive. This is Mr. Monkey Back Road Ministry. Peace and hair grease.